Okay, hi all. I'll share my screen and let me know once my screen is visible. Is my screen visible? Okay, so we'll start. So let us recap what we did in last class. So last class we have understood what is SSL inspection. We have understood what is the use of SSL inspection. How does a firewall do encryption and decryption? Why do we need SSL inspection in a firewall? Majorly nowadays every site, whether it is your company's website or it is internet website, Google, Facebook, whatever websites, everything is encrypted, right? With the SSL certificate. If you see any website, it would be having HTTPS instead of HTTP, and firewall will not be able to read encrypted data, right? So firewall will act as a man in the middle to do SSL inspection and decryption, and it will encrypt and decrypt the data, read it. If any virus is there in the data, firewall will block it. If it is not a virus, firewall will allow it, right? So we have understood these things in the last class. Now after doing SSL inspection alone doesn't protect your environment. After doing SSL inspection, we need to tell a firewall, if you see so and so data, then allow it, or you see so and so data, then you need to deny it or block it, right? So that will happen with the help of security profiles in a FortiGate firewall. Okay. So we have different type of security profiles. One is a web filtering, one is a DNS filtering, one is a application control, one is a antivirus, and one is a IPS signatures. These are the common web filterings we would be having in our environment when we are doing a FortiGate, when we are working with FortiGate firewalls. Okay. So now we'll go one by one. First we will go with the web filtering. What is the use of web filtering? Why do we do a web filtering? So generally web filtering.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, yeah.
You have told me, right, that traffic firewall will do the antivirus. It will scan and do the antivirus for the encrypted and decrypted data. It will do
Correct.
only for the traffic which is allowed inside the firewall, right? It won't do any endpoint devices, right? It won't do anything
No, 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 no,
with the
no. Nothing,
antivirus.
nothing to do with
Only
endpoints. See, when the traffic is
okay,
passing through
okay,
the firewall, that time it would be
okay, okay.
inspecting or scanning the data.
Okay. For endpoint solution, we do need
We
a
have a
separate
different, we
solution,
have
right?
a separate solution. We call it a endpoint security.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Done. So now let us go back. So web filtering. So when do we use a web filtering? Web filtering is nothing but a URL control. URL means a website. Okay. So whenever your users, internal users. So generally, suppose this is my office environment. This is my firewall. My firewall would be connected to my LAN switches, right? Suppose this is my core switch. Okay. Then my core switch would be connected to my access switches or my users. User 1. Then I would be having another user. I may call it a user 2. Okay. Now a firewall would be connected to a ISP, internet service provider, right? And over the internet we may be having multiple websites. I may be having a Facebook. I may be having a YouTube. Everything is hosted on the internet only, right? I may be having a Google, or I may be having a any disk. Any website would be going, it would be going via internet only. Now on my office environment or within my LAN, here this is my LAN side. Okay, this above is my WAN side. This is my WAN, this is my LAN. On my LAN side, I want a protection, or I want to restrict certain traffic. I want in my office environment, I want to block like any such websites. Okay. Suppose I don't want anydisk.com should be open in my office environment. Whenever the user is trying to go to anydisk.com. 1 minute. Suppose a user is trying to go to anydisk.com. He is opening a web page, right? I don't want this anydisk.com should be open in my office environment. Similarly, if a user is going to youtube.com, I don't want youtube.com should be opening, right? 1 minute. So this type of things I need to control in my office environment. Certain restrictions would be there based on the company to company, that a certain website should not be opened in any of the companies, right? So this control we can do with the help of web filtering in our organization. Okay. So when we apply a web filtering, we have different controls in a FortiGate firewall. One control we do it via 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay. One control in a web filtering is via categories, and one control we call it a static filtering or static control, you can say. So what is categories and what is static control? Let us see. So there are websites, right? Suppose a YouTube. A YouTube is defined with certain categories. Suppose it can be a media streaming, or it can be some XYZ category would be defined. Okay. Then suppose a Facebook, FB. I may be having a social networking site as a Facebook. Instagram, it would be defined with a social networking site. Then I may be having any disk. It may be remote desktop covered, remote site. Like that, every site would be having a certain categories defined by FortiGate firewall. Okay. Now assume in my office environment, I have a requirement or I have a protocol that all social networking should be blocked. Under social networking, there may be many sites available, like Facebook is available, Instagram is available, or any other websites, you name it, it would be available with social networking. So instead of blocking a single website or individual websites, what I will tell a firewall, social networking complete category, block this complete category. Okay. So whatever website comes under social networking sites, it would be blocked automatically via FortiGate firewall. If I don't want to block complete category, then I may need to allow a category, then I will block it at this level, at a static URL. Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see FortiGate category based blocking. FortiGate has a predefined category to block any sites. Allow users, will come to that later. So now suppose you have a website, you need to know this website comes under which category. So there is a site available to know particular site available or for particular FQDN comes under which category. How we will find out this? Let us see. FortiGuard web filter categories. Okay. Web filter lookup. I will say I want to know anydisk.com. So HJQE. Okay, done. So anydisk.com comes under remote access, right? Similar to that, if I want to know ultraviewer.com. Just give me 1 minute, guys. So ultraviewer is saying information technology. Like that, each website would be defined with a specific categories in our FortiGate firewall. Okay. And it would be this particular database of categories would be downloaded from a FortiGuard when we are having a firewall. Okay. So to have a FortiGuard category based blocking or category based filtering, you need to have a licensed firewall. If you don't have a licensed firewall, if you block or if you do a category based filtering, your total internet would be down on your LAN side. Users will not be able to go to any website. Okay. If you have a unlicensed firewall and you are doing a category based filtering. Okay. Then comes a static filtering, right? So static filtering you can do normally. Suppose I want to block a specific website, I can block it or I can allow it. Okay, I don't need any specific license to do a static filtering. Okay, is it clear? Okay, then whenever we do static filtering or category based filtering, we have certain options. Either we have a block option which will block a website and there would be no other checks, directly it would be blocked. It is then other exemption is exempt. Then other option is exempt. Suppose I wanted to do a static filtering. For example, I have one website facebook.com. Okay, this I have done a static filtering and option I have given as a allow. Then second thing, I have a category. Facebook comes under social networking, right? Here I have given this as a block. The end result would be block only. As a Even though we have given the action as a allow in a static filtering, it will not be allowed, because whenever you give a allow option, it will check a static URL filtering, it is allowed. After allow, it will check a category based filtering also. In a category, if the action is block, the final result would be blocked only. Now, suppose in a category based you have given any category as a block and you want to allow specific website from that particular category. Instead of giving a option as a allow, you need to give a option as a exempt. Okay, if you give a option as a exempt, the URL would be allowed and no other categories or UTM features would be checked. The final result would be allowed only if you give a action as a exempt action. Okay, so 1 minute. So what we are discussing, see, we have four options available in our firewall when we are doing a blocking or allowing of a website. One was to block. Block means website blocked. Second option is exempt. It means allowed and no other checks. Final result is allow only. Third one, allow. If you give allow, first result allowed, then check for category. If in a category action is block, then final result would be blocked only. Okay, then we have another which is monitor. Monitor means a site is allowed but will get alert or locks for this site. Okay, suppose you wanted the users can be able to go to any specific websites, but you want to know the logs who is going to this website, then you can give action as a monitor. Okay, then the firewall, the URL would be allowed and you will get into a web filtering. You will see, okay, certain users are going to a specific website and all. Okay, so these are the four options available whenever we go for allow or deny or action of any URL filtering. Is it clear? Hello?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever we go for web filtering,
Yeah, yeah.
we have two orders. First order, always when the traffic is coming to a firewall, after security policies, I mean to say security policy means L3, L4, L3 and L4 checking. First it will check for a web filtering, static web filtering. I have a static URL filtering also. I have a category based filtering also. Okay. So first action would be static filtering. Then after static checking, it will go for a category based checking. Okay. So first the firewall will check if I have any static configured websites that need to be exempt or that need to be blocked or something. Then after that it will check for a category based filtering. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. So now we'll go to one specific
Yeah,
lab. We'll see what happens. So let us go to lab. This is our lab environment. Let me open management PC. Let me open firewall also. Get system status. License is valid. Okay, done. Execute ping. Okay, internet is working, done. We will go to this. Okay, let us try to go to internet first. Okay, working. Google.com, working. Done. I'll open one website. We don't need this user for now. This is also not required. This is also not required. Okay, done. Suppose I wanted to block anydisk.com. Is it working now? Let us see. It is working now, right? So I will open an incognito window. Minimize incognito window. Now we'll go to firewall. So what would be our agenda for this particular lab? I wanted to block specific websites in our environment. So from this PC, if I try to go to anydisk.com, okay, as of now it is working. I don't want this to be working, or I don't want any remote sites to be working in my environment. See, for our lab environment, we cannot use category based. We will go with a static filtering, and we'll see what happens when we do any website blocking or anything, what will happen. Okay, so now let us go again. Okay, so to do a web filtering configurations, first go to security profiles, go to web filter option, create new profile. I'll give it like a web filter. Then you see here there would be multiple options available. 1 minute, hold on. We have multiple options like FortiGate category based filtering, static URL. If you want to do category based filtering, you can do this, but they would be more warning that firewall is not licensed as of now. Okay, that's okay. So under category based filtering, we have so many filtering options available like drug and abuse, hacking websites, illegal websites, proxy websites, child sexual abuse. What all things you wanted to block, you can block it, and what all things you wanted to allow, you can allow it in this particular environment. Okay, so as of now I will not go with category based filtering. I will go with the static URL filtering. I will say URL filtering. Then when you
Even though if
hmm,
that action, if we are trying, sorry to interrupt,
hmm,
uh, if if we are trying to access some website, okay,
hmm.
and what is the difference between allow and monitor? Like if
No,
we have full control
allow,
with allow and
if you have
monitor
action as
logs
a
us.
allowed, you will not see a logs in your web
Mm-hmm.
filtering in your logs and reports, so you will not see a logs. If you have a monitor option,
Okay,
then you the website would be allowed, but at the same time you will get a logs in your web filtering logs and reports.
okay. But even though if we give if we have a monitor also, we have the full access, right? Full access to the website, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So now we will go to URL filtering. We'll try to create a new URL. Suppose I wanted to block anydisk.com. Okay. I will say action as a block. If I say action as a exempt, it would be allowed. If I say action as a allow, then at the first stage it would be allowed, then second stage it will check for a category based filtering. Okay, so as of now we don't have category based, so I will say action as a block. Done. We'll go for more websites also. Okay, done. I'll say okay, done. We
So
created
how about exempt
exempt
action
means
that
it
we
is
can also
allowed.
able to see the logs,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no. Exempt means you will not see a logs. If the fire logs, you will only see
Oh,
when you the traffic is blocked. See, there are two types of logs. I am talking about
okay.
web filtering logs. If you see this web filtering, this logs. A forward logs, anyhow, you will see from a firewall policy. If in your firewall policy you have a logs enabled, forward logs you will see
Oh,
by
oh,
default. I am talking about web filtering logs. Okay.
no.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have a web
Okay.
filter profile created, but it is not applied anywhere as of now. So now we'll go to web filtering interface. First, let us see how many interfaces are there. LAN and WAN 2 is up and running. Okay. So we will apply this particular web filtering profile on a security policy. Okay. Let us go. We'll say interface page view. I wanted to apply it from LAN to WAN 2. Okay, WAN number 2. On this particular policy, I wanted to apply my web filtering profile. Okay. So if you come down, if you see here, web filter, right? As soon as I enable web filter, certificate based inspection automatically enabled. Okay. So I will apply web filter profile. Done. And see, I was talking about two type of logs, right? One is web filtering logs, right? And one is normal our forward logs, right? So if you enable this particular log all traffic, then you will get a logs in your forward logs. But a web filtering logs works based on your allow or monitor or block sessions. Okay, done. Now I have given a policy that anydisk.com should be blocked in our environment. Now let us go to private window again. Anydisk.com. As of now, it is working. Let us see what will happen. I will go to logs and reports. Because of our unlicensed version, we may get some issues. Let us see. It is working for now. I'll try to block one more website. 1 minute. Hold on. Connection is secure. Let us see what is the FQDN name in our certificate of web filtering. Suppose this is a common name. I'll go to details. I will check subject alternate name. Subject alternate name. It is having one more star.anydisk.com. We'll try to block this also. Okay, done. There is no locks as of now. Under forward locks, let us see what is happening. Anywhere anydisk.com or anything you see. What is the IP for anydisk.com? Let us see first. I'll open more tools, developer tools. Okay, network. Let us see again. If I open anydisk.com, network. Okay, header. This is IP 104.80.118.31.170. So now let us see if this IP is getting allowed or blocked. I will filter it with the destination. Done. Okay, as of now it is getting allowed only in our environment. 1 minute here. It is not getting blocked from our firewall. So we'll go and see why it is not getting blocked. It is forwarded for now. Okay. So I'll go again to security profiles, a web filter policy. Under a web filter, I'll write one more rule, star.anydesk.com. I'll say wildcard action should be blocked. Done. Okay. Anydesk.com wildcard blocked. Done. Done. Okay. What is my firewall version? Also, I need to verify. Okay. This version may not support web filtering in our lab environment. We'll see. No problem. Again, let us go to anydesk.com. Okay. I'll try to block one more website. Security profiles, web filter, web filter. I'll say I wanted to block star.ultraviewer.net. Okay. Action should be block again. Done. Okay. Now let us see ultraviewer.com what happens. Okay, this is because of firewall license 7.0.2 is not supporting a web filtering in our environment. Let me take a backup. Just 1 minute. We need to do one small thing. Stop this firewall. Edit this. Instead of 7.0.2, I will say 7.0.17. Done. Wipe configuration. Start again. Just one basic configuration, and we'll restore the configuration whatever we had previously. So web filtering, everything should come up again. Let us wait for 1 minute. Config system interface, edit port 1, set mode, static, set IP 192.168.100.1/24. Done. We will restore the configuration now. So how to restore configuration? From here we'll go and say restore, upload a restore file. This is our config. Done. So whatever we have like URL filtering, web filtering configurations applied to previous firewall, it should come up in this firewall also. Let us see. System will go down and come up in couple of minutes.
During this restore, we will still have the internet
No,
traffic
no,
from
no.
ISP to firewall, right? Just
No, firewall will reboot
at least
during a
till the
restore.
firewall.
Till the firewall
Okay.
it would be there, but traffic will not pass through.
That is what I'm asking. After firewall, there won't be any traffic, right?
No, no,
At
nothing.
least till the firewall, there.
Correct, correct. But say anyhow the device is getting rebooted, right? It would having issues only.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Same thing for upgrade as well, right? It will have the internet traffic till the firewall. After that only there won't be any traffic to the
Correct.
end nodes, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. It is rebooted. Let us wait. Okay. So do I have security policies? Let us see. Firewall policy. I'm having a security policy with the web filtering also applied. If I go to security profiles, web filter, a web filter, I have this many websites blocked, right? Done. Again, we'll go to this, close this, close this. Again, I'll try to go to anydisk.com. Oh, still it is working. ultraviewer.net. Continue to the site. The URL you are trying, it is blocked now, ultraviewer.net, right? So whenever you have sites blocked, you will get this type of messages. Now again, I'll try to go to anydisk.com. Okay, anydisk.com is not from work blocking as of now. So we'll go to web filter and we'll see what is happening. Now, under a web filter, I am getting a logs, right? Ultraviewer.net is getting blocked. Like that, we should get a log for anydisk.com also. Okay, so let us see. We'll go again. We'll say web filter. We'll delete this. We don't need this. I'll try to block one more website. Let us say, okay, anydisk.com may be going with the UDP port number. That's why it is not getting blocked. Let us do one thing. See, nowadays many websites are going with the QAC application, which means QAC will use a UDP port number. Okay. Normally, a website with the HTTPS would use a TCP port numbers, right? And firewall can intercept the TCP port numbers and see what is happening. But if the websites nowadays a browser is using a QAC application, QAC will use a UDP port number. A UDP port number, firewall cannot intercept the traffic and firewall cannot see a traffic, then it will not be able to block this particular traffic. So first let us do one thing, we'll block a QAC application only. Then we'll see what is happening. I'll say here LAN to block QAC. LAN WAN. The source would be my VLAN 1, VLAN 10 and all. Destination would be, it can be anything. And a service, let us see if I have a QAC. Not available. I'll just create a service with UDP 443. Not a TCP, UDP 443 we will block. Protocol TCP UDP 443 443. Done. QAC application, I wanted to deny this traffic. Okay. Log violation traffic. Done. Now we will try again, but I need to just push the policy above the allow policy, right? Okay. Now I'll say I wanted to check cisco.com. First we will see if it is working or not working. Then I will check like facebook.com. Okay, everything is working, right? Facebook.com also opening. Now again I will check anydisk.com. Okay, it is opening still. Let us see. I'll try to block any other website. Oh, sorry. Security profiles, web filter, web filtering. I will block cisco.com. star.cisco.com web field block action. Okay, done. Okay, then star.youtube action would be block. Done. Okay, this anydisk.com is not working, so let us delete. We'll see again in couple of minutes. Okay, cisco.com is blocked, youtube.com is blocked. Let us see now again. Close this, cisco.com. Now cisco.com is saying it is blocked. Now if I try youtube.com, youtube.com is working. Why? Because YouTube is having a name as a star.google.com. It is not having a name as a youtube.com. Okay. Then any other website we blocked, let us see. Sometimes a website would be having a multiple FQDNs available with the particular website. Okay. Suppose if I try to block a youtube.com, sorry, a facebook.com, if I wanted to block facebook.com, let us try to block facebook.com only now. So to block a facebook.com, I need to block multiple URLs in my environment if I am doing a static URL filtering. Okay. Now example, this is a common name star.facebook.com. First we will block this thing and we'll see what is happening. Star.facebook.com, I'll try to block first. Action would be block. Apply. Then let it be. Do I have another browser? See. Okay, we'll check in this only. Facebook.com. Still Facebook is allowed. So let us go to our logs and report and see Facebook is going with what URL of web filtering. Here if you see facebook.com is blocked, but there would be another URL which is allowing a facebook.com. Okay, so we'll go to forward traffic. Now we'll not go here. Okay, this is blocked. Let us see any other URL which is getting. You see now QAC application is blocked. Before QAC was running, so some websites was not working. So okay. I'll try to block one more thing in a facebook.com. Let us see. Connection is secure. Details. If you go to subject alternate name, you will see many things in a facebook.com. fbcdn.net is one more thing. If I try to copy all these things, there may be many FQDNs available with one particular website. Okay. Suppose I'll open a notepad now. 1 minute. This is one more thing. There are so many things with the facebook.com, right? So many DNS names. We'll try to block fbcdn.net also. Then we'll see what is happening. Actually facebook.com got blocked. If you see web filtering, the action is blocked, but because of license issues and all, it is not getting blocked properly. Okay, so let us go to security profiles, web filter. Then we'll say web filter option. Click here, block. Done. Done. Forward traffic. This is all QAC application, no problem. open in this and see facebook.com. Now this facebook.com can't reach. You should get a page like a block or anything in certain environments. Okay, if I say facebook.com, what will happen? Let us see. So sometimes it may be having a different URLs or different domain names getting allowed by a facebook.com. Okay, so you need to check under certificates, or sometimes you will check get in a logs also that a certain website is getting different URL or something. So now let us go to web filter. Okay, now you see facebook.com. You see previously it was just a facebook.com blocked and it was getting allowed by a different domain. So now we blocked fbcdn.net also. So now it is getting blocked. Facebook.com is getting blocked. Okay, like that there would be different URLs available or different domains available for any of the URL. Okay, so you need to block specific domains. If you are doing a static blocking, then not only one particular domain. If it is getting resolved by another domain or another FQDN, then you need to block that also in your environment. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, then we have certain more options in our web filtering. So now, 1 minute. If you see, there is one more option available which is called override option. If you see this override option, so what happens now? Suppose I am having two groups, group 1 and group 2. A group 1 should be having all block. Okay, but if a user is part of group 2, then a traffic was the URL or policy, security policy would be one policy only, but web filtering profiles would be two profiles available. Now there would be two profiles. One profile would be for group 1, second profile would be for group 2. Group 1 it would be all block, group 2 it would be allowed. Whatever websites you wanted to allow, it would be allowed. And then you will tell to a firewall, if a user is part of group 2, then he should not be applied to group 1 policies, he should be applied to group 2 policies. Okay, so it is called override option. So for override option, there are certain things you need to do in your environment. First, you need to have authentication. Authentication can be local authentication, or it can be your FSSO, or it can be your LDAP authentication, whatever authentication you wanted to do. Okay, so first a user should be having authentication. A firewall need to know a user database, so user IP address and username to do a override option. Okay, then you need to enable a override in this particular environment. So now let us see how we will do this, but we will not have a username and all as of now. I'll show you but how to do. First, one particular URL we have given as a blocked, right? Block all the websites. Now if I go here, I'll create another override profile. Under override profile, I will not block anything. Okay, just a profile created, which means everything would be allowed. Done. So I'll go to the default profile, which is web filter profile. I will say if the users are part of so and so group. I need to say if a user is part of so and so group. Auth users, we are having a users, right? Auth user, I will say. Then he should be not matching this particular profile. He should be matching a override profile, which means it would be allowing everything for this particular users. If a user is part of this auth group, then everything would be allowed for this particular user. And I will say switch applies to IP. Then how many days? It would say apply it for like 1 day. Okay, then 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, then once a user authenticated, he will not be able to, he will get everything allowed if a user is part of this authentication users group. Okay, the user can be a local user, a FSSO user, anything. Okay, done. Now this override user group, whatever we have added now here under web filtering, we have added one group, right? That group should also be part of security policies. If the groups are not a part of security policy, then it will not work. Okay, so now let me add a group into a security policy. I will say apart from source, I wanted to have a user also with this particular thing. Done. Okay, now first see I'll go to any website like facebook.com. Okay.
FSSO group is a part of a security group Active Directory, right? Active users and
Yes,
computers.
yes, yes. Your AD or anything.
Okay.
1 minute. I don't know the username or password. Give me 1 minute. A user one will say what is a password. So once a user is going to website, he is getting this particular page, right? So he will authenticate. After authenticated, he is authenticated. Now let us see if he is having a database. Firewall is having a database. We'll go to users and devices. Firewall users are there. Okay, done. Now let us go to facebook.com and we'll see what is happening. Let us see. Okay, but he is getting override or not. Let us see in our logs now. Web filter. Okay, he is getting, but which user group or something he is getting or not. Okay, now he is part of auth user group, but the policy is not getting override because of license issue only. Action is getting blocked. Which profile it is applying as of now? It is applying web filtering profile, right? But when you have a licensed firewall, once a user is authenticated and user is part of that particular group, he will not get a web filtering profile here. He will get a different profile which is a override profile in our environment. Okay, so this usually works when you want one security profile but you want a different web filtering for different users. Then you can do this type of settings in your environment. Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, then let us see if any other options we have under web filtering. Okay, then we have like blocked invalid URLs. There are some URLs which is not like a fully qualified domain name, but still it works. And FortiGuard defines that particular URLs as a invalid and or a malicious URLs. Then you can block that particular URLs. Okay, like block malicious URLs and all. Apart from URLs, you can block a content also. In any of the website, you will see a content like a chatbot or something is not something should not be working. Then you can say I wanted to block a specific pattern, whatever name you say on any of the website. If the name comes a malicious name or something, I wanted to block that particular name. Then you can block it or exempt it on your environment also. Okay, like not a fully website would be allowed, but under website any content you wanted to block, then you can block it with the content filtering. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, then you have like
Usually, FSS,
mm,
once again, usually FSSO group will be used only for web filtering.
no, no, no.
Or, mm, okay, what
FSSO
else?
can be
Like
used for your VPN connection also.
VPN. Okay.
Yeah, it can be used for anything, not only for web filtering, URL filtering, DNS filtering,
The
application control,
security. Okay.
security profiles. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what would be the order? Like here in web filtering, we are using uh, there will be a DNS filter, there will be a static filter, and there will be some SSL inspection, right? What order that traffic will passes
Okay.
for that web filter
First
particularly?
traffic would be doing SSL inspection. Okay.
Okay.
After that, if you are having like flow-based policies, we discussed right, flow-based,
Mhm.
proxy-based. If you are having
Yes.
flow-based, everything like web filtering, DNS control, application, IDS, IPS would happen at the same time. Everything. If you have a proxy-based, okay, then first it will happen like your antivirus, your IDS, IPS, okay, and application
Okay.
control. Then it will happen your DNS filtering or your web filtering. This would be the order
Oh,
when you are having a proxy-based
okay.
filtering. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was all for our URL filtering or web filtering. You can try in lab environment, but make sure you are using 17.0.7 in your environment. Okay, the firmware version. If I show you, I don't have that firmware version now. 1 minute. Okay, edit. You need to use 17.0.7 firmware version. to do a URL filtering or web filtering in your environment. Okay, and apart from
Okay.
that, you need to create a separate policy to block QoC application, because nowadays browsers are using a QoC which is UDP based. Okay, so if you are having a UDP based DNS filtering and all, your DNS resolution or traffic is going via UDP, firewall will not be able to block that particular traffic. Okay.
Okay. Okay. If suppose one doubt,
Mm-hmm.
if suppose in we have created the policy during the troubleshooting,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, under CLI, how will I able to find that whether it is blocked by SSL or whether it is blocked by DNS filter or whether it is blocked by
You will see blocked by certain policy,
policy?
security policy like that. You will not see blocked by URL filtering and all. You will see blocked by
Okay.
security policy. And then you can go
Okay.
to your web filtering or under your logs, you can go and see. Okay, it is getting blocked by so and so thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe what command I will need to put like check this like
No, see
command.
how we
Yes,
check
it's
normal
we can check
without.
in
No, no. In a CLI,
GUI.
we GUI you can directly check. No, there is no such command required. But when
Okay.
you are checking the CLI debug, you need to do a debug for a specific source or a specific destination. Then you can check.
Okay. Source
Okay,
filter, destination filter.
correct. Then enable a debug. You will see which policy is getting allowed or which policy is getting blocked by this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And this packet capture, we can use it for packet capture or debugging. We can use it for VPN, web filter, and what else we can
Yeah,
use
packet
in
capture
firewall.
generally we will use for traffic to. We need to examine the traffic.
Okay.
Okay, if traffic is allowing or not allowing from firewall, we need to examine VPNs are coming up or not coming. There we will use packet capture.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm asking. So
Mm-hmm.
for packet capture, we can use it for web filter and VPN. What else? What are the other features we can
Generally,
use for the
packet capture
same
we will use for
debug?
the traffic allowing or not allowing purpose only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How firewall is behaving.
Okay.
If firewall
Mhm.
received any traffic, what firewall is doing for the traffic? We need to understand. Means that time we will do filtering with this debug commands.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then the next security profile is DNS filtering. DNS filtering is similar to our web filtering, but see, DNS filtering only works when a DNS response, DNS query. How does a DNS protocol works? Let us understand first. This is my client. This is my DNS server. Okay. So to go any website or a client need to go to any website, first you need to have a DNS resolution, right? Right. So what the client will do? Client will send the DNS query, and server will do a DNS response. Okay. So in between a client and server, now assume I am having a firewall. Okay. My client or my particular client DNS server IP is 8.8.8.8, which is this 8.8.8.8. Now what will happen? A client will send a DNS query to firewall. Firewall will check policy and it will allow it to go to DNS server. Okay, and DNS server need to respond. In between that, I will say to firewall, if a client is asking for so and so domains or so and so sites or so and so FQDNs, then don't send this traffic further. You respond with a fake IP. Okay. Now what will happen in our environment when we do a DNS filtering? Suppose I am doing a DNS query from my client for a facebook.com. This traffic will go to a server. This traffic will go to our DNS server. Firewall will send this traffic if we are allowing it in our DNS filtering. Okay. Then at the same time, if I am doing anydisk.com and I say to firewall, don't send this traffic further, I will say the action should be block. Then what firewall will do? Firewall will not send this traffic to DNS server. Firewall will respond. respond with the fake IP. A fake IP can be anything. It can be your organization blocked page, or it can be FortiGate blocked IP and all. It can be anything. Okay. So whenever a firewall is getting a DNS query, firewall will check a DNS profile or DNS filtering profile, and if the action is block, firewall will reply. Okay, reply with fake IP. If the action is allow, firewall will send this traffic to a DNS server to do a DNS response properly. Okay, is it clear? Hello.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, so now let us go to our URL filtering. We will try with the web DNS filtering option once. Okay, so you will see if you wanted to go with the theory of DNS filtering, you can go here also. I will share. I already shared this document, but you can again see
Okay.
192.160. Oh, sorry. Now, for a time being, what I will do, I will check one DNS resolution. NS lookup. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. It got stuck. Just wait. This got stuck actually. Okay, we'll log in. NS lookup I will do. NS lookup means we are doing a DNS resolution. Okay. So if I say cisco.com, what is the DNS resolution happening? 72.163, right? So I will go to security policies, DNS filtering, create new. I will say DNS filter profile. I don't want category based filtering as of now. I will say domain filter, which is static filtering, star.cisco.com. Then here the action would be redirect to block portal, allow or monitor. If you say redirect to block portal, then user will get a fake IP address. Okay, which means whatever the IP address we are giving, it will get a fake IP address. Allow means the URL would be allowed. Monitor means it would be allowed, and user will get a genuine IP, but you will get the alert in your DNS filtering profile or logs and reports. So as of now, I will say redirect to block portal. Then block portal means what would be the IP address he should be getting. You see here redirect portal IP. Here this is a predefined IP available from a FortiGate. If you don't want this, you can give your specific IP address also. But as of now, I'll say this is a block portal IP I wanted to give to my users. Done. Then I'll go to policy and object, firewall policy. I will say WAN to. I will remove web filtering so you will get the proper idea. Just a minute. Wait, it got stuck again. Okay, I'll apply DNS filter. I will say I wanted to apply this DNS filtering. Click on OK. Now I applied DNS filtering, right? Now let us go to logs and report. Where is the DNS query? Okay. As of now there is nothing. So I will say again I wanted to do cisco.com query. Now you see previously I got this IP. Now I got a fake IP address. Now whenever user is trying to go to cisco.com, what will happen? Let us see. Okay, this is a cache memory. 1 minute, hold on. New private window, cisco.com. Okay, this is because of cache memory and all, it is going to a genuine website, but you should usually get a page, we call it. Okay, if I go to this page, what will happen? If I open my browser, 208, 1 minute. What is the IP address? 208.91.112.55. You should get this type of page whenever you have a DNS filtering applied and you are getting a DNS fake IP address from your firewall. Okay, so now I'll go to DNS query again, refresh. Now you see user replied, your user is sending a traffic for user 1. A firewall is responding with the IP address. What a firewall is responding? Domain was blocked because it is in a domain filter list. Okay, and firewall will respond with the fake IP address instead of a genuine IP address. And whenever you go with DNS resolution, you should get a fake IP address only. Suppose I go again cisco.com. Instead of getting a genuine IP address for a cisco.com resolution, firewall will give me a different IP address. Now same time I will say I wanted to go to facebook.com. What is the IP address of Facebook? 163, right? In same DNS filtering profile. As of now I don't have a DNS resolution here for Facebook. I'll go to security profiles, DNS filter. Same profile I will edit. I will say I wanted to go for star.facebook.com, a wildcard. Okay, redirect to block portal. Done. Apply this. Now from the same PC I will do a DNS resolution for facebook.com. Again I am getting a fake IP, right? So firewall, whenever firewall is getting a DNS query for facebook.com or whatever the blocked page, it will respond with a block IP address, which is a redirect URL block IP address. Now if I go to DNS query, you see now facebook.com also firewall is responding with a fake IP address, right? So that's how usually it works whenever you have a fake IP addresses or DNS query and you have a fake domain applied. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, and usually you will get a blocked page, you will not get a website page. It is because of cache memory and our lab environment limitations we are getting a website open, but usually you will not get a website open, you will get a blocked page when you have a DNS query. Okay, usually you should get this type of page, web page blocked like that. This is the official page designed by FortiGate for a DNS query or DNS resolution page. Okay.
Okay. And previously we have seen some. Previously we have blocked some any desk, right? That time
That
14.8.
is a FortiGate inbuilt firewall inbuilt page. Firewall will
Okay,
respond
okay,
with the blocked page, inbuilt page. That is not a FortiGate website page.
okay,
That
okay.
would be there in
So
your
by seeing
firewall.
the block message itself, we can identify whether it's a DNS block or whether it's a
Correct.
policy block,
You will
right?
see here Fortinet
Oh,
Secure DNS Service Provider. right?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So that was all for today. Tomorrow we'll see application control, antivirus filtering. Then we'll go for IDS, IPS signatures. Okay.
Okay. Okay.